how are you? My name is Nancy, and I'm known as the Disorderly Stitcher here on Flosstube and also on Instagram and Facebook and in my Etsy shop. All of those social media and shop information links are down below, so if you're interested, please check me out. And if you would like to join our Facebook group, please answer the questions that I have in the group, because we want to make sure that we have Stitcher crafty people in our group and not trolls. You know what I mean? All right. Excuse me. That's a great start. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate it. If you are new here, I am so glad you came by. If you were directed to my floss tube from another floss tuber, please let me know who they are so that I can give them a thank you. I'd like to welcome you to It's Warmer Than It Was, Pennsylvania. Yeah, incredible. We went from freezing our, patookies off to now I was in Target yesterday and it was like, ugh. So I don't know. We are in faux spring. It's, allow me to look. Right now it says it's 40 degrees and it's mid-morning. So we might hit 50 this week. I don't know. But knowing our weather, we have been known to get wicked storms, snowstorms in March. So it is what it is, right? You can't control the weather. And, meteorology is the only job that you can do and get it wrong and still keep your job, right? Yes. So I have been busy. I have some whips to show you. I have a finish to show you. Some haul, not a lot. Some intentions. Yes, I have an intention. And I will share my book of days with you and my whip go board with you. And then I have some project bags that I'm going to show you, and I will be putting them in my shop today or tomorrow so that you can peruse them. And if you purchase one, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start with my book of days. I had to take mine apart because I put it in a binder. So here's my book of days. If you keep one, I don't know if you keep one. I list the whip go calls over here and any new starts and any FOs and any FFOs. So I don't have any FFOs so far this month. I do have one finish and I had 2 starts. And you can see that yet on the 15th, I didn't get anything stitched because my husband and I took a day and just went antiquing and had dinner. And it was nice. It was nice to just be us. So, yeah. Busy, busy. Busy, busy. All right. So, Whip Go. If you are not familiar with Whip Go is the brainchild of Jessie Marie Does Stuff. It's like a bingo board, and she picks numbers at the end of every month, and you fill out the bingo board, and then whatever numbers she chooses, those are the ones you work on in the following month. What you do is up to you. Some people say, if I work an hour every day. Some people will do so many stitches a month. I tend to gravitate towards stitching on it 5 times a month. And, you know, that could be an hour. It could be 100 stitches. It could be whatever. But it's my board, so I define what a time is. Last month, the numbers that were drawn were 5 and 22. So my February draws were We Are Blessed and a Hawk Run Hollow. And I have completed We Are Blessed, and I will show it to you in a minute. And I'm still working on Hawk Run Hollow. I'm doing Shores of Hawk Run Hollow because that is my Monday stitch. I have a Zoom group and we meet on Mondays, and that's what I work on Mondays. I've also added We Are Blessed to the 13 for the 250th Sal. If you would like some information, there is some down below. This was the brainchild of Nancy Stitcher with the Laughing Face. And the idea was to get 13 stitches, 13 smalls actually, done and finished and ready to display for the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Now, some of these are done. All of these are done, but are they finished? No. This one is probably the only one I have fully finished. Now, last month I said I was going to add my thread milk design pillows to this list because, you know, they're patriotic to me. I mean, it's the States, right? So if I do that, then I only have one more to do. How exciting is that? Okay. So that's where I am on WIPGO and the 250th Sal and my book of days. All right. So what have I been working on? Well, we all know I'm disorderly and I stitch what I want to stitch when I want to stitch it. So I had finished the first day of Christmas ornament, not fully finished, but finished, by Annie B's. Finished that one. And one night I was like, you know what? I just want to do something else. And I pulled out 2 turtle doves. The nice thing about these is they're on Aida, which means they go a little faster. Yes, they're on black Aida, but for me, they go a little faster. And I haven't done the beading yet. I'm going to pull out, I did find my beading needles, so I'm going to pull those out. But here's what number 2 looks like. And it's still in the hoop because I was working on it. And I want to keep it in the hoop until I get the beading done. Whoa, I'm going to drop everything. So here's where I am. I'll bring that back out and show you what it's going to look like. Hopefully you can see. Well, let's see. There. So that's where I am. I still have the little flowers and branches down around the birds, and I have to fill in those little decoration things on their wings, but yeah. So if I get this done by the end of the month, then I guess I'm on track, right? It would be nice to have them finished for the tree, but then I'd have to double up somewhere and actually take time to fully finish, and who knows what I'll do. But that is 12 Days of Christmas ornament number 2. I have also been working on my Shores of Hawk Run Hollow. If you are unfamiliar with that one, it looks like this. It's a big girl. Now, if you've been here before, you know I talked about this is my leap year Sal. So I started it March 1st of 2024, and the goal is to have it done by February 29th, 2028. So to do that, We divided each block into 4. This block is divided into 8 because it's bigger. And the idea is to get 1 block done in 4 months. You can work ahead if you get behind. It's no big deal. There are no leap year Sal police. Just do what you want to do. Okay. So I have finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I jumped down here and did this one. So that's what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now I'm working on this one. I skipped this big boat because I'm thinking I want to do it last, but who knows, right? I can change my mind. It's a woman's prerogative, right? Right. So this one's in the hoop because last night was Monday and I was working on, just dropped my floss. I have to pick that up. I was working on it last night and I forgot to take it out of the hoop. So this is where I am now. I have already made a mistake and I'm okay with that. I'm not ripping it out. I'm good. But I have the words to finish and then all this gray in the background. So my friend Kelly, hi Kelly, said what she did was, you know, she would do some words and then do some background, do some words and do some background. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So I will take the gray down to the bottom of these words, then I will do the next line and then I'll do the gray and I'll do the next line and do the gray. So then after that, I only have 3 blocks on the bottom and the big one in the middle. So that's what I have done. So, whoops. That's what I have done so far. I do not iron for every floss tube because I don't want to crush my stitches. So that's where we are. And I dropped my floss. I will have to remember to pick that up. I ripped my floss drop last night. Not a good idea. I wonder, let me get this out. Oh my goodness. Guess what? It worked. I'm good. Okay. There's some garbage. Need to move that. All right. What else have I worked on? I pulled out. Is this the one I want to show you right now? No. I pulled out. This is my Peanuts portfolio I made. I pulled out the Quaker Tiles flag pattern, and I'll put a picture of it here, or here, or here, or wherever it ends up. And this is by Vivsters. It's available on Etsy. In fact, she has a lot of different flags done. And I had originally purchased the less wide version, long version. And then I went back and she graciously, you know, I said, hey, I had purchased this. Can I get a hold of the longer versions? She said, sure. So I was watching Phoebe from, it just went out of my head. I'll put it down here. I was watching Phoebe and she said something about it. And I said, you know, hey, do you want to start along? And because I'm more of a start alonger than a stitch alonger. And she said, sure. And I purchased her fabric from her shop, and I will link it down below. And Moonshine Stitchery. That's who she is. Moonshine Stitchery. And she has a shop. She dyes fabric and she also makes nail polish, which totally intrigues me. I'm not a nail polish person, but that intrigues me. How do you make nail polish? Anyway, so I bought her fabric and it's called Liberty. It's not heavily mottled. In fact, I don't think it's mottled at all. If it is, it's difficult to see, at least on my piece. And I started working on it, and it was just, I would just go, go, go. And I think one thing that kept me going was I was listening to a audiobook, and I just, I wasn't looking at the TV and I wasn't looking on my phone. So yeah, I'm learning to enjoy audiobooks. I'll tell you about the book I was listening to at the end. But this is the Quaker Tiles flag. So every box is outlined in the dark blue. And then in the blue, you have the white motifs. And then there will be a lighter blue. And I'll show you my threads here in a second. So I guess I could have looked on my project card, right, to find her name. This is 40 Count Liberty by Moonshine. And I'm just using the called for DMCs. So I have 930, 939, 3777, and 3865. There we go. I really hate to say this, but the 9, 26, 27, 29, and 30 and 39, I'm starting to get a little tired of. But they're the perfect red, white, and blue. And this is my needle minder, which was made by P&B Creations. And if you are interested, they are offering a 10% discount in their shop for the patriotic items. They have needle minders, they have corner gauges, they have floss drops. Where'd it go? Where'd they go? They're in here somewhere, people. I just had them yesterday. Here they are. Floss drops. There's different ones. They have bling. Okay. And that's on the patriotic items only. But the information is down below if you are interested. So if you want to jump on this, please do. It's not, it looks daunting, but it's not. Okay. All right. The last thing, I got to move some things because right now my sewing table is full of boxes and floss. And in fact, if I think about it, I'll take a picture of my table because it looks like floss blew up on it. And I'll insert it. So the last thing I've been working on is this is a chart that was published by a friend of mine and her husband, and they are known as the Old Man and the Bee, B-E-A, and it's called Robertson's Eagle. I had showed this last time. I saw this, a friend of mine showed me, I think, or I saw it on Facebook. I don't know where I saw it, but I fell in love. Yes, that's a lot of brown on that bird, but I love it. Love it. So this chart can be purchased at Hodgepodge in Strasburg, Pennsylvania, which is near Lancaster. She does not have a website. You'd have to call them, and you can find them on Facebook. Or you can get it at Liberty Hill Needleworks in Williamsburg. And I just think it's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And Susan taught me a new word. On the back it says sesquicentennial. And I messaged her and said something about it, and she said it has something to do with the Latin. I don't know, but I thought, okay. Sesquicentennial, semi-sesquicentennial. I don't know. Whatever floats your boat, right? So I started. I keep it in my very patriotic Peanuts project bag. I am doing this on 36 count Petoskey stone by Needle and Flax. And I did some converting because when I pulled the colors, first of all, it's charted. You can do it in DMC, all DMC, or you can do it in a combination DMC, Classic Colorworks, Weeks Dye Works, and Gentle Arts. Well, I knew I didn't have all the alternative colors. So anyway, I pulled what I had. And I started, and I had originally decided to do the band between the red stripes and the border in Classic Colorworks Hazelnut, and that's this, but it looked too dark. So I went into my Color and Cotton, and I needed 3 skeins, and I didn't have 3 skeins of the same thing. So I pulled out 2 skeins of Pancake and 1 skein of Raffia because I think they look a little more antique. And so what I'm doing is just alternating the colors when I stitch. But I pulled out, you know, just different threads. And, you know, it takes like 4 skeins of cayenne from Weeks Dye Works. So anyway, I might use that hazelnut somewhere else, but there we go. The blue is, I pulled Blacksmith Blue. So anyway, I think it was supposed to be 312. Yes. So I am doing this on, like I said, 36 count Petoskey stone from Needle and Flax. I love Rachel's linen. She's a one-man show, one-woman show, one-person show, and a lot of her linen is used for a lot of exclusives, and yeah, very popular. So this is what I have done so far. Hopefully you can see that. The white I'm using is Grits. Now Grits does variegate, and I don't know if you can see it. It looks almost a little yellow here, but you know, I like it. And I like this better than the hazelnut. So this is all the way out to the edge of the first page. And I did scan my pages with my printer scanner, and I put them into Markup RXP. And yeah, I like it. And my floss bling I found, I think this is from Becky Socks for Mom, I'm not sure. But I believe it's Martha Washington. Because, you know, you got to have Martha Washington or someone. Right? Right. And Susan graciously sent me a copy of the pattern for one of you. And I asked you to use the word celebrate in your comments and tell me how you and your family, I'm looking for it, sorry, how you and your family plan on celebrating our 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. And so I got some, a lot of people are planning on barbecues. Why wouldn't we? Because it's the summertime, right? And just enjoying family and friends and fireworks and everything that this occasion has to offer. And so I pulled the, I did the random comment picker, and I'm going to put a picture of it right here. But the receiver of Robertson's Eagle is Stephanie Stills. Stephanie Stills. Stephanie said, I enjoyed seeing your stitching. Hopefully we can celebrate the anniversary of America with my family. So there you go. Stephanie, please do me a favor and drop an email to me using the address disorderlystitcher@gmail.com. It's down below in the description box. And give me your address, and I will get this out to you ASAP. All right. Congratulations, Stephanie. Thank you for entering. I greatly appreciate that. And I hope that you enjoy stitching it as much as I am. I need to get back to it. Yes. All right. I have been watching some Flosstubers. I will put their names down below, but I watched the Highway Stitcher. Hadn't seen her in a while. Lots of great stitching. Two Martini Stitcher. I love watching her. She's just a bundle of energy. And Accounting My Stitches, Asbury Echoes. She has some great primitive looking patterns. And she also has a shop on Etsy. Celeste Creates, Darling Dion, Contented Needleworker Kim. There was a new one to me. I don't know if she's new to Flosstube or just to me, but it was EE Stitches. Steadfast Stitcher, Beth. Sometimes you might get to see her cat. She has a mama kitty, and the kittens aren't so kitteny anymore, but they have a lot of energy. Fanciful Flamingo. Alicia is back. She had taken a sabbatical from Flosstube for a while, and it was so nice to see her. Tattooed Stitcher. Long Live the Stitcher and the Huga Stitcher. And there's other ones out there that I probably haven't written down, but I've watched you and I enjoy you and I appreciate the time you put into this. And yeah, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. All right. I'm knocking floss on the floor. Got to pick that up too. What was this? Oh, these are my... Those are my ornament flosses. Okay, before I show you the bags I have for the shop, I will show you my haul. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot because I'm trying to be frugal, because I will be going to Hobby House the first weekend in May. And the designers there will be Paulette from Plum Street, Stacy Nash, and Beth from Heartstring Samplery. And, you know, this is probably the once in a lifetime go to Hobby House and see these people. So, yeah. I'm also trying not to purchase a lot of pre-orders. I've made one pre-order. Well, one pre-order from one shop, but it was two things. And yeah, so because I figure if there's something I really, really want, I can always get it and kit it at Hobby House, but who knows, right? Right. So the one thing I purchased, well, oh, I have to show you my finish. Let's back up, shall we? All right, I'm going to show you my finish. This is the Teresa Kogut. Oh, what the heck. I'll show you the haul because that's where I was going, right? All right. So this is from To Die For Fabric. She is on Etsy. And I messaged her and I said, hey, do you have any 40 count? And she said, well, I don't usually dye 40 count, but I can. So I looked at her colors and I said, well, how about Butterbeer? I'm not a big Harry Potter fan, but I thought that the golds and the browns looked really nice. So this is 40 count Butterbeer. So if you're interested in some nice looking fabric and it's very soft, I like that, please go check her out. I will put the information down below. And I got a fat quarter. All right, I also had ordered, and I still have this in the bag because, in fact, I just opened the envelope today. This is from 123 Stitch. It is I got a half yard of it because I will probably, you know, then I'll be able to use it for 2 samplers. Because remember, I like big ass projects. This is 40 count and antique lace from Seraphim. Now, this is a lot more gray than I anticipated, but I think it'll work. In fact, it might work for my intention. I'll have to see. I don't know. I will show you my intention in a minute. I received my fabric of the month from Color and Cotton. If you can get into their club, I love their fabric. I love it. I'm not sponsored by them. I just love it. This is 40 count chiffon, and I get a quarter of a yard. Sort of a beigey with a pink tint to it. That looks pretty good. Love it, love it, love it. I also got, and people are like, why? But these are typography. These are alphabet letters and numbers from Lori Holt. And I got the uppercase and the lowercase. But they're templates, okay? And I thought, well, that would be cool. Number 1, to make a quilt. But number 2, I thought it would be cool to put like my initial on the front of a project bag. You know what I mean? Or I don't know. It'll depend. So I will play with that. Finally, oh my God, I am going to try this one more time because my friends are encouraging me, and I'm sure they'll listen to me cry when I get frustrated. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch and follow Tiger Lily's Beanie Knit Along. Yes, I have this bee in my bonnet that I want to learn how to knit socks. I don't know why I want to. I just do. And I tried once. I think I told this story. I tried once. I went with a friend of mine to a little shop a couple towns over, and I swear I probably drove those 2 little Mennonite ladies to drink. Didn't last long. If memory serves, I was using double point needles, which confused me. So anyway, back to Tiger Lily. Tiger Lily had a beanie knit along, And a friend of mine, Sherry, hi Sherry, said start with that, because she goes through all the basic things you need to know, like how to cast on and how to do this and how to do that. And I thought, okay, I think I can do that. Trying to find the right size needles was about near to impossible. But I needed a US 6 and a US 5. I still have to go get the double points. But I got 16-inch Chowgu. I love that name, Chowgu. Circulars. So I have to go, because you start with the 5 for the ribbing, I guess it's called, around the bottom. And then you go to the 6s for the actual beanie. And then when you get to the crown, you use the double points. So we'll see. I hope that at least one of you will come visit me in my rubber room when this is done. It may end up being a UFO. Who knows? I might burn it. Who knows? But I'm going to try. Right? Right. Okay. What else was there? I think that's it. All right, my finish. I showed you my book of days. This is the We Are Blessed drum head for the project created by Teresa Kogut and Chantel 141 Designs. And I stitched it with the called for colors and in the way it was supposed to. Now, a friend of mine, Cindy, hi Cindy, she did these stars in gold, which I thought was cool. And she did the U and the A in red, white, and the S, red, white, and blue. I thought that was cool, but I wasn't going to go back and rip out. So that's that. And I will put a picture of the finished product here. Yes. He has milk paint. And I think the paint colors will look good. I'll probably do some antiquing or dry brushing or something on them. But yeah. So what are my intentions? Well, I'm going to continue with my whips. I figure next week we'll find out what March's numbers are for WhipGo. I had actually thought about taking some of my whip choices off of my board and replacing them with Lady of the Flag. I haven't touched that thing in over a year. And every once in a while I'll look over to my right and I'm like, yep, she's still there. But I have not touched it. So I don't know. I feel very bad about that, but what are you going to do? Okay. Did I remember everything? Did the whips. I showed you my whips. Showed you the haul. Did all the things. I just have to look around. Because, you know, I'm disorderly and I did not fill out my notes before I started. I just dove right in. Yes. What is this? I don't know what that is. So it must not be important. Okay. So everybody, not everybody, a lot of people saw this chart and went gaga. It was released at the Attic last, I believe, August as one of their charts that they received. And as everybody's like, I want it, I want it, I want it. So the Attic released it in January. And of course, we all know it's America 250. It is, the model's done on 36 count smoky quartz using 1 strand of floss over 2. Now, except where noted. Now, in the picture, and we all know that photographs are blown out, but in this photograph, the white doesn't show up. And maybe that's, again, just because, you know, the photograph blows it out. So there's white over here, the top of Independence Hall, and the sails. And I think that's it. Oh, there's a star here, somewhere in there, somewhere. Is that it? Yeah. So I've been auditioning fabrics other than a light gray. I do have light gray fabrics. I am not going to go buy the called for fabric. And what I've been pulling out is 40 count. And then a friend of mine last night said, well, what about the over 1? And I'm like, oh, no. Because the information for the Stamp Act here in this motif is over 1. And the, it says Leviticus 25:10 under the flag is over 1. And the initials of the Committee of 5. Okay, so that's Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Robert Livingston, and Roger Sherman. Was the committee appointed by the Continental Congress to develop the Declaration of Independence. And of course, Thomas Jefferson wrote the whole thing practically. But that's all over 1. So I would like to use 40 count because 36 count I think is going to be huge. I don't have the math. But what I'm going to do, I think, is just, you know, spend some time and see if I can do over 1, like pick a thread and do it down in the corner. So anyway, like I said, rattling along, I pulled the threads. I have all but a couple of them. So here's most of the called for threads. Okay. I am missing Weeks Dye Works Peacoat, which is a deep blue, Pine Needles from Classic Colorworks, and 3830 from DMC. So I had been a part of the Color and Cotton Thread Club, and I went and pulled my Color and Cottons out. And right now I have a crap ton of blue Color and Cotton sitting here on my table. Like I said, I'll put a picture because I'd like to use it. And it's not that I think that these pieces need a lot of variegation, but I would just like to use the thread. And like the one in the blue flowers is the one that's called for is Chesapeake, which to me is very green blue. I don't know. And it's paired up with, I think, 927 in the flower. So like I said, I've been pulling. And the reds are 355 and Cayenne and Tennessee Red Clay, which I think is very pretty. 3830 though comes across as much more orange, and the translation according to 123 Stitch is Aztec Red, which to me reads more pink. I I don't know. What would you do? Would you just stick with the called for and quit trying to be all fancy? That's where I think I'm going now. Is just do what it says. Follow directions, which has always been one of my problems. But the one thing I would like to do is see if there's a way to finish the quote down at the bottom. It says, we hold these truths to be self-evident. And the finish for me is that all men are created equal. So I want to see if I can do that. I don't know. Because if I do that, then I would have another line here, and I think I would have to put like another, like this motif, this other star motif down here. What do you think? Should I finish the quote, or again, should I just let it the way it is? Or see if there's a way, can I do it over one and fit it in here? I've never done that before. I don't know. I could probably figure it out. Probably. I don't know. So anyway, there we go. So, or do I find a different piece of the declaration and put it in there? I don't know. I'm so confused. So confused. And it doesn't take much anymore. All right. So, that being said, let's talk about the Etsy shop, shall we? So, the link to the Etsy shop is down below. Right now, I concentrate on project bags. I also have project cards. I am going to load some new designs into the shop. And let me see if I can find. Didn't think. See, I don't think. I just jump, right? All right. So the first new one I have, I love vintage ads. All right. So I have this one. I thought that was cute. And that's the front and the back. And then I have, they're packed into this box like sardines. And I don't like sardines. Here's another one. And again, the front and the back. Dooby-dooby-doo. Go on in there. Get back in the box. Be nice. And this is the one that I've had for a while, but I love that little girl. Same setup. And then I also have, yeah, there we go. I also have some with the little girl that has the dates stitched. If you don't have a book of days and you want to keep track of your stitching progress, you can put the dates on the back. So I have those as well. All right. I hope at some point to start working on some floss bling, scissor fobs, that type of thing. It's just time. You know, this is supposed to be a fun, you know, mad money thing for me since I'm retired. And I don't want it to be a full-time job, but I enjoy doing it. I enjoy making bags. I enjoy playing with the beads. And yeah. Okay, so what do I have? What am I going to put in the shop? Well, to celebrate, to start motivating people, to motivate us, to get our blood moving for the 250th, I decided to make some bags that you could use to house your patriotic stitches. So the first one I have is this one. Now it has the founding fathers on it. There's George, there's Tom, there's Ben, there's James Madison, John Adams, and I want to say that that's James Monroe, who was the 5th president, but I'm not sure. And where did Alexander go? Alexander Hamilton's in here somewhere. Where'd he go? There he is. Alexander Hamilton. So, you know, we have presidents, we have, you know, Benjamin Franklin, who was probably the biggest proponent of independence besides John Adams, and then Alexander Hamilton, the first treasurer of the United States. And he got a musical on Broadway. So, and they just have, you know, some nice neutral colored fabric inside so that you can see what you're looking for. Okay, so I have 10 of these. All right. And they're nice and big, and they are quilted. I quilt my bags. The second style I have is I have 2 different colored zippers, so I need to shift things here. I'm going to knock everything down. Is this America 250. Isn't that cool? So we have 1776 to 2026 and 250 years. So I have it with a blue zipper, and I also have it with a red zipper. I love this. In fact, when I found this fabric in the store, I bought everything they had. So, red, blue, and the founding fathers. So, if you are interested in a project bag, I appreciate you looking, and if you purchase, thank you very much. They were a lot of fun to make. A lot of fun to make. All right, so I went longer than I actually thought I would, because let's face it, I'm a former teacher and we can talk. All right, so if you are getting ready to, you know, dig into the dirt and have fun out in your gardens, and I hope that, you know, the weather changes fast enough for your gardening hands to get into it. If you are a Nope, I'm not out there doing the digging. That's me. I love beautifully garden. I love it, but I'm not get out there and dig. If you're still just enjoying the winter, I know that they're getting snow finally out west. That is amazing. My friend Nell, hi Nell, is in Nebraska, and she said they're calling for like 8 to 12, I think, in Nebraska. So yeah, she's been looking forward to a snow day for a while. She's a teacher. And if you know, right? Okay, so let's do, I looked at my stats and I realized that I hit 4,000 subscribers. And I have these charts that were given to me, or I picked up, most of these were given to me. And I wanted to pass them along just because I know that I will never stitch them. Or I have stitched them. And, you know, why not share, right? So, let's do a couple of patriotic. And we'll do this one too, because someone's going to have fun. All right, so this is a chart that was, a woman was destashing, and so I said, sure, I'll take it. This is Bless This Home by Cottage Garden Samplings. The cool thing about this is that she has most of it stitched. Now you're probably going to say, Nancy, why aren't you keeping it and finishing it? It just doesn't trip my trigger. So if you look at that, I think the only thing left, you have to finish the tree and then the basket on top of the roof. There you go. So use the word home, H-O-M-E, if you are interested in finishing this UFO. Home, H-O-M-E. The other two are patriotic for the U.S. Oh, speaking of, you know, I gave up on stitching the Olympics. That didn't work. Great intentions, no follow through. All right, so the first one is a small chart called United We Stand. So use the word united, U-N-I-T-E-D. The cool thing about this one is you could pull each one of those ornaments out and you could make it an ornament. You could, you know, just do 3 separate smalls. And it's charted in either sampler threads or DMC, and there is Kreinik in there, but you could just use a gold floss. I'm sure the Kreinik is the top of the ornament. And maybe, and the star, I guess the star, or the stars on each of the ornaments. So use the word united for that one. And the last one is from Plum Pudding Needle Art. It is called Liberty Street. I thought that was cute. So use the word Liberty, L-I-B-E-R-T-Y, in your comment if you are interested in this one. It is charted with DMC, Weeks Dye Works, and 1 Weeks Dye Works and 2 Gentle Arts, but you could pull whatever you want. Whatever red, white, and blue work for you. I'm going to guess that the house and the flag, it's Lancaster red from Weeks Dye Works. So this one's Liberty. united, and home, HOME. So if you are interested in one or all of those charts, please let me know in your comment, and I will pull that for the next regular floss tube. Okay, I think that's it. If you have any questions about any of my whips, there is a whip. There's a link to a Google Sheets document, Google Sheets, whatever, down below where you can view my whip list. It's all but up to date. I have the name of the chart, who designed it, what I'm stitching it on, blah, 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 for the most part. Some of the earlier ones I don't, because I wasn't writing all that down. So if you have any other questions, please ask. I do read all the comments and I heart them. If you've asked me a specific question, I answer it in the comment. If I missed your question, I do apologize. Please let me know. You can always drop me an email with a question, and I will answer it as soon as possible. All right. So please take care of yourselves, and you know, give yourself grace. Remember, that's important, because we are human beings and we do falter sometimes, and that's just who we are. All right. So please take care, stitch what you love, create what you love, and love what you create. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.